Here is how to turn your small bets into huge wins. So a fundamental fact of every single dynamic in the casino, except for a slot machine, which is going to be kind of random, right? The way you win at table games is you lean into the streaks of wins, where something happens in your favor a couple times in a row, more than once, let's say, right? So for example, playing blackjack. Well, we're going to use blackjack. We're going to break this down very simply. If you win one hand, lose one hand, win one hand, lose one hand, you don't win any money, right? You have to win, 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 then maybe lose. Win, 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 then maybe lose. Or you win when your bet's pressed, right?
Yeah.
So you win when your bet's pressed and you lose when your bet is not pressed. So you're lucky to kind of, you know what I mean? You need a strategy, though, in that case, right, that sort of takes advantage of that. Now, let's say you get 3 blackjacks in a row. That's fantastic. And if you're pressing them as you go even a little bit, you're leaning into the win streaks, okay? And this is true of every table game in the casino. Win streaks. It's called risk leveraging now. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about, okay? So what you do is, as you lean into the win streaks, you leverage your bets. You leverage the risk that's associated with your bet. But here's the thing. Most people either lack the strategy, lack the goals, or get this, lack the discipline to really take advantage and maximize the wins. And that's what I'm going to help you, at least for today, on a crap table. Okay, well, first of all, let's get the budget out the way. Okay, so clearly you have to have a budget you're comfortable with, because that's the comfort zone. We don't want you to have buyer's remorse on the table. So again, budget effectively. Then you really got to come with a strategy that incorporates risk leveraging. If you don't, and your strategy is defying how tables work, well, guess what? You're really never going to win a lot of money. You might have some fun at the casino, but it's not about wins. And right today, we're talking about maximizing the wins. Okay, so let me give you an example of risk leveraging. So on a dice game, it's always about numbers, okay? So the facts are this. If you have a $10 9, right? The first time it hits, it's going to pay $14. Okay. Now, what some people will do is they're going to collect it. They're going to say same bet. They're going to collect this bet, right? And now if a 7 rolls and you lose, you've won $4. Congratulations. And more than likely, you're in a whole bunch of money. Now, however, let's say, for example, you're lucky enough to see 2 9s. 2 9s, okay? If you saw 2 9s roll and you collected twice, you would have $14 twice, or 28 bucks. You see? Yep. Now, however, okay, we'll put this aside. Let's say this is $28 right here. Okay, that's with 2 9s. However, if you would have leaned in and leveraged the risk a little bit and took advantage of this number, a streak of more than 1, let's say, which is not unusual, it's not even uncommon, right? When the 9 hit the first time, you could have thrown in $1. You could have taken this bet to $25, right? And now when you get paid, you get $35 minus the $1, right? So in just 2 9s, you have $34 versus the other person who only has 28. And here's the thing, remember? That person never pressed. They still only have $10 on the bet. You have $34 in your rack and $25 on the 9. This is quite literally the basic fundamental building block of risk leveraging.
And like you said, this isn't uncommon. We see 2 of one number, not before in a row, but before a 7 out, right? Yep. That's all we care about.
But here's where it gets better, okay? The better parts of this is, the more interesting parts of this is clearly there are ways for us to kind of build a box to make this work, okay? So realistically, not everybody is going to lean into aggression. And the other question is like, well, when do I do this? How do I know? What's the timing of it? What we're not going to do is we're not going to try to time it. We don't want the emotional connection to play a role. We want to have a strategy and be disciplined enough to play in a set way to have a reliable outcome. And where risk leveraging isn't an emotional play, it's sort of a guaranteed export. You follow? We're literally going to squeeze as much money out of the game as possible. I know for a fact that most crap players, when they come in here and talk to me specifically, they know they leave a lot of money on the table. They just do. They know that they've experienced the roll just yesterday. Experienced the roll. Guy rolled 20 numbers, and he only won a couple $100. David, how can I solve that equation? Okay, let's get to that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. First, you have to have a strategy that creates opportunity on the table. There's many of those out there. But the biggest part is, always the biggest part for me is the emotional part, the discipline, okay? So for example, let's say, for example, you're in $44, okay? This is, here, let me build this on the back thing, okay? This is a $44 investment, okay? So you're in $44, okay? You need to get your money out of the hand, all right? So that's emotional hurdle number one. How do I get my money back, okay? And I can sort of disconnect emotionally from the table. Because you need to put this in your head. If it's the casino's dime, right? What do you care? You're playing on the casino's money. Is it technically your money? Yes, but for the purpose of our brain and putting this in a good brain space, we say it's the casino's money. I am working on the casino's money.
Yeah, once you get your bullet back, you're okay. Just let it go.
Just let it go. Now, we find a system first that allows us to get out of the hand as quickly as possible. Now, once we're out of the hand, now we want to create goal tiers. This is the next problem. So let's assume that we got our money back out of the hand. We followed a strategy. There's many strategies on our channel where we show you how to get out of the hand quickly. Squeeze play, double tap, GM spin. All of these are built on that very same principle. Now, the next part is goal tiers, not gold tiers.
It's okay. I'll be putting the text.
Yeah, gold tiers. Now, we always say you come with an exit plan for your bankroll. So if you're in 100, some of our strategies, we say, hey, you want 5x, that's your exit. Like you want $500 to go out. Some strategies, we want you to win 10 times your bankroll, okay?
Yep.
So you should be familiar with what your actual exit is for your budget. But inside of a strategy, right, what you need to do is create gold tiers inside of the strategy, because here's the thing. Fundamentally speaking, everyone identifies with some type of value, some type of number or value. So for example, let's say the 9 hits, it's going to pay $14. You throw in $1 and you go to a quarter, okay? If you go to a quarter, right? Now, when that first quarter hits, a lot of you see that green check hit the layout and you want that in the rack.
Yep.
You need to get that in rack, and that's okay. We want you to have it in the rack because you have to overcome this emotional obstacle. This is a cog in our system. So your first goal tier should be what you see as value. If you need to see a green in the rack and collect this bet, collect this bet. Now, once you do that, right, now we are literally next gold tier on our way. So in this case, let's say we go to $60.
Yeah, assuming you already collected.
Assuming you already collected. Now what I do is my gold tiers, way back in the day, I started this system called Triple Lux that was very popular. It's a hyper aggressive system. It doesn't meet a lot of people's checklists, but if you're on that high risk, high aggression, you're literally maxed out, that's a system for you. But for most people, it's not. But here, I have $60. I collected a green one, okay? That's my first value. Now I don't want to collect until I get a black one, okay? So here, look at this. This bet's only going to pay $84, okay? This is going to pay $84. So you know what I do? I go to 120. I literally take the change, give the deal with the green ones, and now I have $125 on the 9. Now, why do I have $125 on the 9? Because it's going to pay $175, and now that I have this black payout, I'm going to get over my next emotional tier. Go ahead.
I do want to add a caveat. So this is where usually people get scared, because it's not just the payout that they get scared of. It's seeing the bet, seeing the black chip on the bet, and then this is when they want to take it down. But every time you do, you're taking away from your opportunity to win from that bet. Right? If it's not on the table, it can't win you any money. And you're already out. So you have to just let go.
You got, yeah, so this is all about win streaks. I mean, you know, it's literally always about the number. You know what scares the casino the most is people that play like this. You know what doesn't scare the casino? There are people, I've had many customers in a couple $100,000 play at this ridiculous scale, win $1 million, you know, lose. The casino, those people do not scare the casino because they don't work on win streaks. They do what they call chunking bets, or they put the money down. You have an opportunity to come in for a little bit of money, maximize your win on the table, and guess what? If you win $10,000 after being in $500, you're going to go buy some stuff, pay some bills. You're not about to put $10,000 back on the table, you see? You're going home with that money. That money is yours, you see? And if you give yourself a chance to win and you take advantage of risk leveraging and you take advantage of these win streaks, then you can really create opportunity at the table. The thing that I run into the most is clearly, first of all, the wrong strategy. Okay, so just let's be clear. There's a lot of strategies on YouTube that are very good for YouTube, but they don't play out very well in an actual working game. So if anybody tells you this is the ATM machine, that's not a thing, right? You have to succeed at very few fundamental scenarios. Get out first. Get out. Then go for it. Take advantage of those win streaks. It's always about numbers, right? Then control, discipline, emotionally disconnect. So here I've got, look, now I got 175, right? So let's get back to this, a 175. Now watch this. I collected a black one plus some green ones. I'm looking good. My rack's looking great. Now, if I keep same betting this, I will max out what I could win on a table. I will literally end my relationship with the game. And I will not take advantage. Now, the one time you come across someone who rolls 30 rolls, you will have regretted not having this new gold tier. My next gold tier is $500, a purple check. We played with someone who was part of our BBC program, and every time the check went to purple, he was a rich person, by the way, rich. Came in $5,000. We played in. Every time it got to purple, he had to take it down. One person rolled a great hand. He could have won 10 grand. Instead, he won 1,500.
And we did the math, by the way. We actually did the math. We saw he could have won 10 grand from one bet. It's actually a 9, believe it or not.
Yeah, it was on the 9. It just went. So, because look what happens here. You see this bet now? Now, I collected my money, right? Now, the next bet's going to pay $175. Now, here's where I'm going to $300.
Yeah.
You see, $300. Now, the next bet's going to pay me $420. Now, 420 is close to $500. I may take this, but here's what I can do. Watch this. You see how I have 300 here? I can just go to $500 now and take a really nice chunk of change, and guess what I'm getting for $500? I'm getting $700 the next time. Now, you're going to say to me, but David, that's a lot of 9s. It doesn't happen all the time. You're absolutely right. That's 100% true. What I'm telling you is the one time it does happen, you're not able to maximize your wins because you're so stuck in this other scenario. There is this very interesting curve of craps, okay, because this game is perfectly middled. The math is literally perfect for the casino. And you will just, a little bit of wins, some losses, everything else. The only way that you as a player can get ahead of a table, really any table, is to win streaks, is to have a system, be disciplined enough, and lean into a number of wins in a row, right?
And it's not about every single time that's happening, right? You're going to lose a couple of times. There's going to be a couple of sessions that you lose all your money. But it's the one time you do win is where you win all that money back plus some.
Yeah. By the way, I'm living proof. I was on a roll, won $48,125, starting with 32 across on a $1,500 bankroll. The gold tier was literally boom or boom or bust. That was literally unfortunately, at that time, I didn't understand it as well as I do now. But I will tell you that you have to have gold tiers because emotional disconnection is key to taking advantage. Unless you're just ridiculously rich and you're starting at a really low point, and none of this money means anything to you. The truth is that money means something to us, right? So all of us have this sort of value. We see a check, $100, $500. At some point, it transfers to us buying a carton of eggs or whatever the case it is. $500 now is one wheel on a tire. One wheel on a car, but
One wheel on a car.
One wheel on a car. But so we need to get over that. That's where discipline and sort of this emotional understanding plays in a role. And then, of course, go ahead.
One of the things that helps me is that going to make a change in my life, right? So sometimes we see the blackjack, $100, but does $100 really change anything? You're still going to have the $100. As long as you're gambling money that you're willing to lose, that $100 shouldn't mean anything to you because you bought in a couple hundred, I'm assuming, right? So let it go.
Yes, this.
I do want to add one little small caveat, and that is about the strategies, right? So, thing is, there's some strategies that are great, but might not be great for you, right? So triple Lux, like he mentioned earlier, is a great strategy. Just is not great for everybody because then they can't let go.
It was a better strategy on when $5 tables, because then you could buy in for $500. You have 18 bullets. There was a long way to go, and I recommend always buying in for the, or whatever strategy you have. You should start at the bare minimum of the table, and you should find the table minimum that's as low as possible, because you don't need a $10 bet. Did you see how quickly we got to this ridiculously high bet? A $10 table is fine, right? You don't need to start at $25 because one hit of the 9, you're at $25. You follow? Like, you don't, even on a $5 game, okay? On a $5 game, you start at $5 on the 9, right? It hits one time. If you're doing risk leveraging and you're leaning in the streaks, you throw in $3, now you're at 15. One more 9, you're at 36. You see what I'm saying? Like, very quickly, you're able to take advantage. You don't need a lot. In fact, if you're on a quarter game, 6 or 7 of a number, you could be damn near limit, $5,000 limit if you really have a lot of aggression.
Well, okay, there is a couple of things. Now you might be asking, what do I do now? You gave me the philosophy, you gave me the mentality. Well, there's a bunch of videos that we have. So there's all our power press videos over here, and there's also some strategies that I'll leave here in the screen, but also in the description for different risk thresholds. And
you can join us for our bridge workshops, and we can help you find your own risk profile. We have a budget log, or how to conquer table games. Literally, bridge workshops are coming every month in tandem with our station casino properties. So we look forward to, you could book one of those.
Yep. And the nice thing about it is that you get one-on-one, someone else looking at it instead of you, because sometimes you can get lost in your own kind of perception of it.
Finding truth is hard for a lot of gamblers, man. Getting through all the musts and getting through, there's a lot of gray area out there, right? But we find there's only one truth to winning. And the truth to winning is not finding the secret sauce, because it doesn't exist. The secret sauce doesn't exist. The secret sauce is really more about you than it is about the actual gameplay itself, right? And casinos are very happy to entertain people that have working strategies, working philosophies. You follow? They have no qualms about that. They want you to have fun. They want to give you the opportunity to win. The good news is that 99% of the people, when they come to Vegas, they know nothing. They don't empower themselves. They don't know what their risk profile is. They just throw money at the table and hope, you see? And we want to help you do more than hope, right? So by understanding how these games work and what you can do to create more opportunity for yourself, that we think is a powerful thing. Yep.
Say the line.
And now we are off to Keno to unwind.
And the truth is.
Bye.